Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we're back in War Thunder, and it's time to talk about something that I've been seeing when it comes to the economy changes that came out today. And I think it may be down to a few reasons. We're going to discuss it in this video, and also reference older historical points which may have caused these issues in the past. But before we get into the main part of the video, I do have something to plug, which was created by the Tech Hub team, or mainly Nathan Clawfish, and a wonderful list of artists. We have a new design on the Tech Hub store. A link to it you can find under the tech merchandise in the description, and as you can see, it is here to immortalize the Battlefield Engineer event. It's a simple design, just 4 aircraft with the 4th saying nope on it, showing the fact that it was pretty much impossible to get past that 4th plane. But if you want, we have a selection of either t-shirts, stickers, mugs, v-necks, all of this, whatever you really want, you can get this design, and we're also looking into other options such as bags and rucksacks and all of these things. Now, we always do a design for each event in War Thunder. We have the very popular I Survived Operation Summer shirt with the IS-7 on it, as you can see. Once again, you can even get it as a phone case, isn't that wonderful? And then you've got the Hawaii one, which is of course the Sea Voyage event, and even the Big Shot one for the Festive event. All of these were created by our amazing artists over on the Tech Hub, and I just want to thank them, and also thank Nathan Clawfish for being able to set all of this up. So if you want to get this design or many others, make sure to click the link in the description and go and have a look. We've made it as cheap as possible. We have the cheapest prices and the best designs in the whole War Thunder community, and the reason we're doing this is to give back to you guys, and also so we're basically not scalping people. We make approximately, I believe it's around 5 or 10% on each sale before tax, and because of that, that is why we're able to keep these prices as low as they are. So, let's get into the mainstay of the video, which is talking about the economy changes. So one of the things that is always apparent when it comes to economy changes is people focus massively on certain areas of it. It is weird, I think, is the best way of putting it from my point of view, because what I see is the research and purchase costs of this area. All of this is incredibly positive. There is a few which have increased, and I mean a few, but the vast majority of machines, when it comes to research, when it comes to purchase cost, when it comes to crew training cost, have all dramatically decreased. This is only a positive for the individual players of War Thunder. This can only be a positive. The only thing that has increased is the RP multiplier on specific vehicles. So once again, we're sat in a situation where even the part which is, increasing is good for the average player. All of these here, everything when it comes to these SL costs, research costs, RP multipliers, expert qualifications, unfortunately for ground vehicles has gone up, so you could argue that's a bit annoying, but when it comes to crew training costs and everything else, it's all either been decreased or kept the same. These are only positive things, right? Only positive, because it means it takes you less time to grind stuff, it's going to cost you less to be able to crew it, it's going to be less to purchase the damn things. That means that the individual player can get more stuff in their garage to play alongside the other vehicles that they want to play. Right? That's massively positive, right? Then we look at the repair costs. So repair costs, as we know, historically, are done by some form of algorithm, some form of an equation. It would be great to personally see this algorithm or equation and also the stats behind it. I highly doubt they will ever, reveal this thing, but the main thing to take away from it is the vehicles that are doing well are going to go up in repair cost, and the vehicles that are either doing badly or maybe not getting played as much are going to go down. So you can use this system of repair cost changes to try and work out what is doing well, what is doing badly, and from there, be able to try and either use the amazing machines or try a different method, such as maybe playing a similar machine, which is a hell of a lot cheaper. Now, how do we know this is done by algorithm and equation? Well, there is no reason for a human to come down and change a repair cost of a machine by 3 silver lions. This would be seen as a gross waste of time, therefore it has to be done by a machine. So even from just little things like that, we know that this is equation-based. We know for a fact that this is algorithm-based, based on stats that we don't know about. You know, as I said, we can talk about how it would be great to have those stats, and I would love to see them. But overall, with these changes, what you see is some stuff going up massively, such as the B-57s, some things getting decreased massively, such as a lot of the other bombers for the Americans, and across the board you see this trend. The vehicles that are doing well are going up in repair price. The vehicles doing badly are going down in repair price, right? It's just a general modifier that we can see. Stuff like the M60 A1 Rise, right here. It's just got lowered in BR. It's probably doing a hell of a lot better than it was before. Increase in repair costs, still not high. The AOS is doing worse than it was before. Therefore, it gets decreased. The Abrams with the 2A5 come out. All of these have been decreased because guess what? Their win rates have gone through the floor compared to where they were before. And then, when you look at other machines, such as either the Arado, which nobody seems to have brought up because it's 7,500, which is quite high, may I just say, for a stock machine. Nobody is talking about this, but instead people are talking about the HE177 because its repair cost has gone through the roof. Just like the B29 and just like the TU4. And then stuff like the Leopard 2A5, right? That's also increased massively because guess what? All these machines are doing amazing. You are not being persecuted in this game for playing the meta vehicles. This is to try and address the fact that these are the meta vehicles and to either force people to play different vehicles or to penalize you for not doing well in what is seen as the best vehicles. With the bombers, the fact that their repair costs are generally quite high is because the majority of missions you either shouldn't be dying or you should be able to trade one for one, especially when we talk about stuff like the HE177, which is an arse to kill because of its long-range bomb spawn. On top of it, it has an insane bomb load for what it is, and also goes incredibly fast. It's an insane machine. I know a lot of people will disagree, but I don't care. You're wrong. It is a magnificent heavy bomber in this game, right? And then same with the B-57s, same with the Arados, same with anything that is fast in that way and also has a decent bomb load. You are able to get to the bases, not get shot up before you get to them like a B-17 does, and then get back to your airfield without being scathed. And whether you win the battle or lose the battle, you have done your job and you have not died. There will be instances where, guess what, you will die, but because of the fact that you're not dying every game, your repair cost is going to go through the roof. The A6M5 is in exactly the same boat. And all I can say to the people who are going on about the A6M5 Otsu, which is through the roof when it comes to its repair cost, there is no denying it. You literally have another A6M5, which is incredibly similar to it, at an incredibly similar BR, at the same rank, so guess what, its research is going to be the same, unless the multiplier is slightly different, that you can play at, guess what, a much lower price than the Otsu. Just play that. It's the same bloody machine. It's even first in it's even first in the little, cover-up thing that they have. So just play that and get on with it. Why are you bitching? Guess what? If you don't play the Otsu, and, nobody else plays the Otsu, it'll come down. It'll come down in repair cost because they want people to play it. Because of course they want people to play all of the machines in the game. But all this represents to me is the Otsu is doing really well, and nobody is stopping it. So, guess what? It is time to increase its repair cost to match how well it is doing. A few people pointed out, why not talk about the French rank 4 machines, right? The French rank 4s, why have they not been lowered? Because they are monsters. You may not believe it. Maybe you die quite a lot in them. But I know many top tier players who can decimate teams just by themselves. Stuff like the Lorraine 40T. It's got trolley armor at best. It has a very stable gun for a non-stabilized platform. It has an AP shell which goes through pretty much anything it feels like. It has great speed. It has a lot going for it. And it even has an improved autoloader compared to the one that it got when it first was introduced into the game. Remember, the old autoloader was you had to wait until the clip was finished and then reload the clip. Now, you can just do it while you're going around. So it's in fact better than the old clip. This is why its repair cost is through the roof, because it can take over games. The AMX M4, or M50, sorry, is in exactly the same boat, and so is the AMX M4. These are meta vehicles, and the reason why the repair cost is so high is because an individual who is playing these is supposed to be able to take over a game with them. And many people do, which is why they are so high. Some of them have even been reduced. Nobody's talked about that though, because they're still too high for some people's opinion. And that's fine, you know? Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but as I said in the other video, point, evidence, expand. The expand part is incredibly important, and what I'm seeing is a lack of that from many community members. And I'm going to highlight it, right? So, as we've said, all of these massively positive. Repair cost changes up and down, which they always are. Some people's machines are going to go up, others are going to go down, and people are going to get annoyed either way. When it comes to the shell costs, all of these, in my opinion, are incredibly positive. There is only a few which have been slightly increased, but the reductions, such as the heat FS reductions, are crazy compared to others. Even the APFSDS on many machines has gone down, especially top tier machines. You know, there isn't many of the ammo changes which have, you know, gone up. The majority are once again down. So overall, massive positive for the community. Huge positive. So on top of all of these, on top of the shell cost changes, on top of the repair cost changes, and remember, because of these research cost changes, what has also been reduced is the amount that required to fully research a vehicle. And what I mean by that is its modifications. Modifications are generally tied in some way to research cost of vehicle. So by reducing the research cost of said vehicle, your modifications also reduce. So it's not just easier to research these vehicles, it's not just easier to buy these vehicles, it is also easier at the end of the day to play these vehicles, because Gaijin balances these vehicles from a fully upgraded point of view. Right? So it is easier to become fully upgraded and to be fighting at the BR that you are supposed to be fighting at with your fully upgraded vehicle. Everything has become so much easier for the general player. The only people who are bitching are the people who are bitching about minute changes to repair costs. Could you please, for 1 second in your life, think about the larger picture? Please. You have huge reductions across the board. You have multiplier changes in the form of RP, and I'm sure there will be some silver modifier changes as well, which are unlisted. But for the love of Christ, instead of worrying about your single vehicle, think about general trends and think about how good this is for the game overall. This is insanely good. Now, people will not get stuck at that 210 to 380,000 barrier. Now, there are machines which go across the way in aircraft, ground vehicles, and helicopters as well, since a lot of helicopters got reduced as well, so it's easier to get into them as well on top of everything, right? So everything is easier to get into. You know, you've got rid of a lot of the barriers when it comes to these machines, and all I hear is bitching. Why? Let's have a look. So this is my comment section. So this is people who come and watch my videos. Generally, I'm very optimistic when it comes to a lot of things. When it comes to War Thunder, I definitely give a lot of benefit of the doubt, and I try and explain both points of view. I think that is important to do from a company standpoint, from an individual standpoint, just so people get a overall picture. And for me, when it came to the Battlefield Engineer event, I believe it was anti-consumer. So whoever's going to say I'm biased in this video, please go back like 3 videos, or maybe even 2 videos, and you can see a whole sloth of videos where I'm calling Gaijin dishonest because of the event that they ran. Okay, so before you tell me I'm a shill, before you tell me that I'm being unreasonable, just think about that. Anyway, let's look at my comment section. So the first one, Gaijin actually helping players progress through the ranks without paying real money could have been a better April Fool's. Obvious joke, but still. The essence of it is negative. The fact that Gaijin is doing something to help players, this is out of the ordinary. Not true. Now remember, children, for everything the Snell does great, they do at least 2 things to fuck it up. Let's wait and see. Inherently negative and pessimistic about changes which are incredibly good for the game and the average player. Next one, never mind, I found it, but no B29 changes, so I'm happy that he's found the spreadsheet, but yes, the B29 didn't get changed. Once again, an individual worrying about one independent vehicle out of 1,000, or even more than 1,000, and because of that. Sir Paul being positive, good for you. Next one, JK, massive reductions. Well, 2A5 spaded 23k, 2A4 spaded 16k, HU17742, TAR 15233. This is the problem. Literally in a comment. And don't tell me this is just an individual person's opinion. You can see the amount of upvotes this is. You can also see the amount of types of comments this is. We'll go across the spectrum. We'll look at my videos, we'll look at, Reddit, and we'll also look at the forum. I'm not going to show the Russian side of things, just because I wanted just to hammer this point home, because it seems to be an English-speaking problem that we're having right now. So, there are massive reductions. There are reductions about everything in the game, right? Even if you wanted to talk about machines like the Leopard 2K, right? So if we go down and have a look at Germany and the Leopard 2K, it's getting reduced massively in silver line cost, massively in research cost. So yeah, it's getting reduced. But guess what? You only care about your individual vehicle that you are having to repair. Bigger picture, massively required here. Please, for the love of Christ, stop focusing on a single damn vehicle and just think about the overall health of everything. Because it's easy to look at a system, right? You could have a system, let's just call this a system, right? Let's just label this ideas as a system. You could have a system which is working 99.9% efficient. Something that is pretty much impossible in this natural world, depending on the system, right? And you could have that 0.01% inefficiency. This would be seen as a God-given system. If you know anything about chemistry, if you know anything about government, if you know anything about bloody philosophy, if you get a system which is that efficient in any way when it comes to human beings or even computers, let's say, that is insane. But because we have the 0.01% of vehicles that people are not happy with, that is all that gets talked about. Imagine if you are an employee of Gaijin and you are some PR person and your job is to try and get community reaction to stuff, and all you see is these style of comments, and you know that 99.9% of these changes are good for players, and all you see is people bitching about the 0.01% or how you are going to get fucked over by the changes. This is insanity. Why can't people just be happy? Why can't people just enjoy it and be like, you know what? That's awesome. Everything's getting reduced. Maybe it is, the whole silent majority thing, because, by obviously, you could look at little metrics like the likes here, or, little bits of, talk about here, or, stuff I've seen on the Tech Hub Discord. The general ideas, at least what I've seen, is positive. But the people who are discussed the most, or the ideas that are discussed the most, are the negative ones. And then you wonder why a lot of content creators make negative content, which is attacking either the game or attacking aspects of it. Because for some reason, the human, as just an entity, is drawn to negativity. It's awful. God, it would just send me up the wall. It really would. Because, I try my best to look at the best aspects of things. If I have a human in front of me, and let's say they have a good job, they have a nice house, but they're a raging alcoholic, and, this is destroying other areas of their life, what I try and do to help them would be to promote those other areas of that person's life, showing how good it can be if you get this good area and split it apart and try and move it towards and get rid of this alcoholism idea, so that part of your life can be good too, right? That's what you've got to do. You've got to be optimistic about it. If you try and do it the other way around and batter the person into believing that they are an incredibly negative person because how dare you drink that much? How dare you annihilate your family because of what you are doing? There are two things that individual is going to do. Either they're going to hide it from you because they don't want to be persecuted, or they're going to shut you out and get rid of you because of the massive negative influence that you are. It is so much better in all of these situations, even if it doesn't work. Even if the person stays a raging alcoholic, you know what? It is so much better for that individual and your own sanity to be positive and optimistic in that sense. And if you are those things, right? If you are optimistic, if you are positive, and you know that you are trying to push them one way and they don't want to go, and you've tried over and over and over again, you've tried your best and you can walk away. But if you're an individual who goes after the other individual, you will always think, well, I could have been nice to that person. I could have been a bit better. And it's the same with this damn shit. The optimism is just gone for a lot of people. I don't know if it's the Earth. I don't know if it's just general humans, or what the hell's going on. But something's odd's going on, at least with the current generations, at least in gaming. Everybody is just crazy pessimistic. What is going on? Right, so let's have a look at some more, comments. So please talk about the French tank repair costs, which almost didn't change, despite being some of the most criticized ones. Doesn't matter how criticized they are. It's done by an algorithm. Does not matter. I could batter the doors at Gaijin headquarters, telling them to reduce the Lorraine by half. They're not going to do shit, because they're just going to go, it's an equation. If you want it to go down, you got to tell people to do worse in it. Just like the ME262 C2B back in the day, which had a really high BR, really high repair cost, because there was individuals out there who were the only individuals playing it who would mop the floor with everybody else. So you've got to find those individuals and either stop them playing, or you have to get to their level. What I would say is get to their level, because you can, because they're already there, right? So if you want to play these vehicles, if you want to do well in them, it's a standard you can get to, because somebody's already there. So try that, instead of criticizing. Criticizing doesn't do anything when it comes to repair cost changes. You can say, oh, this is kind of surprising. Oh, I wonder why this is going. But if you're like, you should change this, doesn't matter. It's machined. It's a computer doing it. It's not an individual. So your opinion throwing into the machine, it doesn't work like that. Sorry. The next one. I thought they just put an accidental 0 on the repair cost of the B-29, but it looks like nope, the 50k is real. Well, that's just from, that the B-29 didn't actually change, so, that's kind of the same as it is, but once again, it is negative, but, not too negative. Holy shit, I just checked the ammo. The TAM went from 1300 a shot to 600. Can't believe Gaijin did it. This, of course, is a surprise, but it's a positive. Great. That's good. The Snail is really serious about making people not play the TAR 152 C3 and the HE177. Almost 30k insane. Meanwhile, the British Hornet gets the same treatment because of Airspawn. You don't know why it is. We can stipulate that the Hornet itself does really well because of the Airspawn. I would say it's a massive part of it, but I don't think it's the only part. It's one of the best heavy fighters in the game because of its maneuverability and also speed that it gets on the climb. This is enhanced by the Airspawn, but I think even without the Airspawn it would still do fine. But yeah, once again, instead of looking at the 99.9%, you're looking at the 0.0000001%. Crazy! Absolutely insane! Everything fine with RP, but I love the but the repair costs for high-tier German props are ridiculous. 35k for TA variants is insane. Then you've got to teach people to lose in them. You know why the high-tier German props are ridiculous? The 5.3s, 5.7s? Because all of the ridiculous high-tier allied props are going up against jets. Because they're all 6.3s, 6.7s. And guess what? A lot of people like playing 7.0, especially ME-262 pilots. So what happens is stuff like the Griffin Spits, the P-51Hs, even the I-225s, which you never really see, which did get a reduction, by the way, in both repair and research. But the main thing is, all of these get up-tiered. So what you're left at 5.3 and 5.7 is a vacuum where you face 4.7 and 5.0 machines and you stomp them into the ground. The K4 is insanely good because of that fact. If it ever faced actual super props, it would get its ass handed to it, but it doesn't. Same with the TAR series of planes. It's a dodgy BR because of the fact that there isn't a war between the props and the jets. You know what would happen if there was one there? These high-tier German props would get annihilated. And then people would be bitching about the repair costs of the Mark 24 and also the P-51H. It's insanity to me. It's as if people just like bitching. And I can understand, I get it. It's easy. It's easy to go, oh my god, screw this. Or, I can't believe that. Well, if you can't believe it, maybe try and work out why it is. It will save your brain from ultimate microwave. I'm still paying 20,000 SL to repair my Leopard 2A5. What the fuck is this? Well, you should have told all of those Abrams players and German players who switched over to the Leopard 2A5 because it is the de facto best MBT right now to stop playing it. But you can't because they want to win. Welcome to Human Psychology 101 with fucking tech. Are Silver Line rewards being increased? I can't fly the TAR 152 because of its repair cost, and so I don't profit. Right. If you're struggling to profit with a individual plane, go and play another plane. Gain the Silver Lines through that plane to play the plane that you want to play, and then get really good with that plane, and make sure that you can match the repair cost with the rewards you get out of it. Simple as, right? Sometimes in a game like this, you actually have to grind. Back in the day, right, when I ran no premium, I ran free-to-play for 2 years. I ground through the American tech tree. This was when aircraft was just a thing. I ground through the American tech tree, the ground forces for Germany and Soviets, the air forces for Japan, Germany, and Britain. I ground through them all without premium. I know the suffering. I understand. I also know that when I didn't have premium, I actually made more Silver Lions than I do now with premium. And you know why that is? Because I'm unlocking stuff too fast with premium. I know it sounds weird, but you'll find a lot of people who are in the same boat as me, where you have a premium account, you have done for a long time, and you can't actually hold Silverlines quick enough to build up a stockpile. It just stays stagnant. Like I've been teetering around 25 million Silverlines for the longest time, and it's because of this fact. It's because of the fact that with premium, you unlock stuff too quickly. It's kind of funny. But yeah, if you're a free-to-play player and you're struggling to pay for a repair cost, just fly another vehicle. It may be the only vehicle you care about in the game. Let's say the only vehicle you care about is the TAR 152, right? Just play other ones to get a different skill set and gain the Silver Lions in order to play the TAR 152. It'll give you a better experience overall, and it will mean that you'll understand other planes around it. Then we have the point evidence expand link back to the point, so it looks like the English literature of GCSE has changed. That is annoying, hopefully, but I really hope that they are teaching different poems. I got very bored of feminist slam poetry and also Shakespeare. For the most part, these changes are good, but, there's always a but, isn't there? Almost increasing the cost of the 2A5 from 15 to 25,000. I already stopped playing that tank because I hated those retardedly high repair costs. The tank is hands down the best 10.0, but this does not balance it. You're right, it doesn't balance it, but what it does is what would be the word? What it does do is punish individuals for doing bad in a good tank, right? So if you have a meta vehicle, which is the vehicle which is going to take over the game, the best thing you can do to it is to increase its BR and also increase its repair cost so it's harder to use, and on top of it, it means that if you aren't performing to the standard of the average player, you are going to lose a lot of SL. And we've already talked about why Silver Lions are important. I did a video a while back talking about why the idea of Silver Lions, the main reason why it's very, very, very important is to stop bots. And if you want to go and see that video, I would highly recommend it. Just type in Silver Lions on the channel. How about next time they fix all bombers? This is a throwaway statement, which means literally nothing. The repair cost of the TAR 152 is insane. I kill at least 2 planes and 1 tank in Tank RB, and I still can't earn back the repair cost. Finally, now I can play my IS-4M again. A positive comment. So 3 negatives, then a positive. What does it matter if players are doing amazingly well in a certain vehicle? The repair cost doesn't change the balancing of the game. Well, it does, actually. And a repair cost of some 34,000, I would just call straight up stupid, as it's nearly impossible to earn that much in every match, so playing the vehicle will cost you money most of the time. Not if you don't die. And a lot of players aren't dying. Right? So you've got to tell those players to either keep dying, or you have to work out... you have to tell those players to die in-game, or you have to work out a method of not dying. I don't know how else to put it for you. I'm fine with them playing around with the repair costs, even if I can't see the points, but I think it should not be a requirement to have an amazing game just to be able to repair your vehicle. It isn't. It isn't. You don't need an amazing game to get 30k. I'm sorry if you believe that, it's not true. I approve of the changes, made this comment in just a relation to bits where he was talking about the Otsu. Yeah, I understand. And I think this is the general idea of, or the general thought that I get out of it. You know, the majority of people do agree with these changes. They are just annoyed at individual changes when it comes to certain vehicles. And we saw this with the Abrams, 6 months ago. I want everybody to remember that time where everyone was bitching about the Abrams repair costs and how it was too high. Well, guess what? It's time for weeaboos to come out of the cracks of, mothers' asses, let's say, and start bitching about the Leopard. And guess what? In 6 months' time, when there's another top-tier MBT and it also gets increased in RP cost, repair cost, they're going to come out and from their mothers' asses and start talking about it as well. I apologize for all the swearing in this video. I have labored this point many times, and it's just, I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm sorry, I just don't get it. Moving on to the Reddit. So the Reddit is a pretty cool place. There's a lot of veteran players there. It's generally a good place, at least in my opinion, to see where they're, what a hardcore fan base, wants to talk about when it comes to War Thunder, because a lot of people who participate a lot in the Reddit are intrinsically attached to the game, so therefore, they're going to be very critical of it, but also incredibly happy about it existing. And you see this clash of ideas smash up the War Thunder Reddit on a daily basis, where you get the intense negativity of a community who really likes something but just wants it to get better and better and better, even if none of them can agree on what is better. But you know what they can agree on? They can agree on the big middle finger to whoever they feel like. It is just a wonderful cataclysm of negativity. So, server updates, 23rd of the 4th, 2019. This links to this article here. And first comments, highest upvoted. Look, talking about the French repair costs, talking about the 2A5, and talking about the A6M5. Everybody is bitching about the minute repair cost changes instead of looking at the overall picture. Does nobody think this is crazy? This is the most upvoted comment, and everyone after it is just talking about either it's way too good and that's why it's going up, or they're going, yeah, this is crazy. How about the next comment? Oh, it's about the Otsu again. Just play the other one. The repair cost changes are a joke. Well, what about the rest? Why is nobody talking about anything else? Why is everybody just focusing on this? This is not even the main part of the article. This is. Is it because this is inherently positive and you don't want to talk about positive things? And instead you just want to bitch? Is that why? Nutters. Absolute nutters. And then you kind of have the same thing here. So you have, amazing, which is great, positive. Thank you, guys. Only he has a suggestion, so positive with a suggestion. Then we have a but, of course, which I believe this guy actually left the same comment on this video, or at least a similar one. No, that was Super Waffle, sorry. But, it's... talks about an issue with the ME262. Maybe there was something missed. And then we get on to, of course, the bitching. So the repair costs of course, the 2A5 and the 2A4. Then another thank you. Positive. Once again, positive. A few, once again, discussing the repair costs. But overall, you can see the first few are at least very positive. And this is why, a lot of the time, it's much better to read through the forums of the game than this. Or this. Massively negative, some positive. Pretty much all negative, with a few outstanding voices who are trying to flip the page. Majority positive. There is no way you can spin this as an overall negative. This is a massive positive for every player in War Thunder who wants to play the higher tiers. But because of some vehicles getting a little bit more expensive in repair cost, even though, right, let's actually have a look at something. So Leopard 2K is the one that was brought up at one point. Leopard 2A5, the research costs didn't change, so we can't really talk about that. But let's go and have a look at our good friend, the Leopard 2A4. Did the Leopard 2A4 get changed? Let's just have a look. Right, Leopard 2A4 got reduced by a lot. So let's just show how insane this is, just from a general point of view, and do a little bit of a comparison. So here we go. Where art thou, Leopard? Oh, sorry, my eyes aren't the best. Right, Leopard 2A4. It's gone up by 2,470 SL per game repair cost. I love calculators. So, let's see. Leopard 2A4. 2470. There we go. There we go. So we've got that. Economy change, 2A4, negative 320,000. So this, in price, for the new player who is going up, is 320,000 less than what it was before. Insane value. Now let's divide it by 2470. So in order to make it, so the old price of the Leopard 2A4 is back in at, the 1,010,000 range. With this new repair cost change, you would have to play about 130 matches. So now, if you are a person who is unlocking the 2A4, you already have the 10 free repairs, so you can make some silver lines out of that. And just from a positive point of view, when we're talking about economy and silver lions, you technically, from these changes, have 130 games in the bank. Plus, it's reduced in RP, and a lot of its modifications are also reduced in RP. Think about it in that way, and you realize how insane it is for people to bitch about these repair cost changes. I cannot believe it. And as I said, I know the silent majority is out there. I know the majority of people are very happy with these changes as I am. But that minority is getting louder, and it needs to be debated, it needs to be discussed, and it needs to be put right. And that's what this video is for. I hope you understand that. And whenever I see any more of these economy changes, I will go to bat for Gaijin if the changes are as positive as these. Because these are insanely good for the average person. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank B. Young, Blackie, Daniel Stanton, Dyslexic Child, Martinez, Matati, Moxie, Nito, Nick Graham, Alobralo, and Super Cacti for supporting me on Patreon.